detectives take a different approach and interview Amanda Nikolai's co-worker, who went to the Apple River alongside the same group as Nikolai.
I'll just start. It's my understanding that you were co-workers with Nick.
Yes, he works in the other building.
Okay. And how long have you known Nick?
We started hanging out probably when his wife retired.
Okay, so his wife used to work here?
Yep.
Sandra or Sandy?
Sandy, yep. She was a supervisor in the other building. I'll say 3 years.
3 years is when you kind of started normally hanging out?
Yeah, lots of co-workers come over. She invited co-workers over, and everybody's friends with him, and everybody's shocked.
Right. So about Nick, your friendship with him, what do you know about him? Can you just kind of describe him? What do you know about him? His story, where he came from, his history, what his likes are?
He came from Romania. He's just an outdoorsman, likes to fish and do but fishing and just being outside and quiet, just calm. Doesn't like a lot of noise and chaos, but yeah, he's just a very calm, caring guy who would help whenever we needed help with something that would break down. He'd come over and to fix it or help Ernesto fix something, and just always helping out, always helping people. Yeah.
Can you kind of just describe the day from there?
Yeah, we just got there and we got everybody together and went and got our stuff, and we started setting up the tubes, and we just got in and started going. And then Sandy kind of looked and said, Nick's in trouble, Nick's in trouble. And I was still sitting and like, Nick's in trouble, somebody help him, somebody help him. And then I got up, I'm looking. I never saw Nick down there. I never saw any of our group down there. And I never saw Nick down there. And I'm just looking, I just see people just going every which way. I didn't see any blood or anything. And I'm like, what's going on? There's a big fight going on. And then I was handed a phone. I think Tatiana called the police, but she handed me the phone. And I'm like, there's something going on. We're at the Apple River floating. There's something happening. There's a fight. I don't know what's going on. And I think I just repeated myself. And then she hung up. After that, Nick came back. And I just looked at him. I'm like, what happened? He's like, they called me a file. They took my snorkel. They attacked me. They threw me on the ground and were attacking me. And I'm like, I thought there was some kind of fight going on, and maybe he kind of bumped into them. I did see the kid on the side. I thought maybe he knocked his head or maybe got water in him. I didn't know anything about a stabbing or anything at that time. He looked like kind of stunned and shocked. And then I think he sat down. He didn't say another word. He didn't say nothing, and everybody's just like looking around. I see the police. The police are here. So let's just wait and see. Maybe they want to talk to Nick because he was part of the thing. If I knew then what I know now, we would not have gone down that river. I would have been like, something happened, you gotta go. If I saw something really, if I thought that he did something or I saw it, I'd be like, what do you gotta go, you gotta. And I thought he would even like stop and say, hey, something happened, I have to go. I would think he would have said something like that. And we're all there, and it's terrible for us because now we're getting all this crap from people. I don't know, I got a phone call this morning and there was nobody on the line. And so we're all scared.
This is an important interview for detectives. Someone from Nikolai's group, shocked and disgusted by his actions that day. Not only has everyone who witnessed the scene that day painted him out to be a monster, but his own co-worker has too. Police now have a mountain of evidence against Nikolai, but decide to talk to one final person, Larion, who reveals what actually happened leading up to the stabbing.
Is there anything else you can think of about what you saw? Like, some things that would be important to us is like, you know, like if you saw who pushed the guy, if you saw anyone else with a knife, if you saw anything like that.
Well, one of the boys who got stabbed, he was telling us that the dude, he came up to them and asked them for like pictures, like explicit pictures, and I'm like, what? Then y'all got the fighting? I guess they got the fighting. He said, yeah. Then you got the stabbing them. So.
And he asked him for, or this is one of the guy who's actually got stabbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got stabbed. He said that that's what happened. The dude was asking them for explicit pictures of the girls that they was with. So I guess from there it was like, oh, what you doing? They got into an altercation. They must have put their hands on him, and then he retaliated by slashing them.
This claim backs up why he was being called a pedophile on the phone recording. If this is true, then the story makes a whole lot more sense. Nikolai approached the females asking for explicit photos. The females, being mostly underage, declined, and Maddie confronted Nikolai on the matter, potentially putting her hands on him in the process. That's when he punched Maddie in the face, and all hell broke loose. A man then punched Nikolai, knocking him down, prompting him to stab anyone who tried to approach him again. A common opinion stated in unrecorded interviews was that Nikolai allegedly thought the teens on the tubes stole his missing phone, which prompted him to attack the teens. This is largely confirmed in the phone recording as well, as we can see Nikolai searching around the area and pushing the group's tubes around. Detectives would go on to interview countless more witnesses, all with the same general story. Nikolai harassed the group of teens and, when confronted, went on a cold-blooded rampage. But still, people lie. Those who were friends with anyone injured at the scene would obviously remain biased towards the side against Nikolai and could keep out any information that didn't get caught on the phone recording. So, with that, they sit Nikolai himself down and prepare to confront Nikolai on the piles of evidence they've rigged up against him and determine whether or not all of these stories are true.
And I understand you're married to Sandy,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Is she okay?
She is, yeah. I did talk to her. I talked to her for quite a while. I brought her to get the dry clothes.
Where is she?
She is with Ernesto and Amy.
Titi. My puppy.
She's headed home to take care of the dog. So I would like to ask you questions about your day today. What happened, you know, like how you guys got to be in the Apple River today, and then like what your day was like.
All I can say, it was self-defense. Self-defense for a lot of people that came on to me. Self-defense, and they produced 2 weapons, one I took from them.
This would be the start of Nikolai's string of lies during this interview. Nikolai did bring the knife he used to stab the victims. He brought it specifically so he could cut rope while on the river. After the stabbings, Nikolai threw the knife into the river, which was later retrieved.
That's the only thing I can tell. And they hit me, and they were on top of me, and I don't remember anything after that. I just remember I ran away. I ran away to my group. There were actually people coming over from my group to see what was going on. I said, nothing, just get back. And they kept asking, and I said, nothing. I didn't explain to them anything because I was so fearful. I didn't know what these people were doing to us. I've never been in a situation like this, where people produce weapons and they were saying, they were calling, I don't remember, but they said, don't run away, don't run from us, don't do this, you're a you're this. And we said, you people drunk, or you're a I said, the only thing I remember in my mind is, if I'm a should you be drinking? Should you be drinking alcohol and doing what you're doing to people that you don't even know, attacking them? And I said, if I'm a you should be having alcohol, you know? And they took my, I was snorkeling, so they took my snorkel away, they threw it in the water. They grabbed my pants, one wanted to pull my pants down, and I grabbed onto him, and I don't know who that kid was, but he had a knife on him. And then there was another knife, a longer knife, looked like a kitchen knife.
This is true. There was, in fact, an additional knife at the scene. It's unclear if that knife was pulled out at any point during the altercation, but at no point was the knife used to stab anyone.
And I don't know what happened to either one of them. I just know that when the kid attacked me, I took that from him.
The kitchen knife or the other
No,
knife?
the smaller knife.
Okay, what did that knife look like? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
But it was smaller?
Smaller, yes. So, that's all.
How did you get to be by them? Or who are these people?
So, Ariel lost his phone.
Okay.
The phone was in the floor.
One of those bags that
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone had one, but his phone was in the floater, so he says, well, let's go look for it. So I put my snorkel on, and I looked, and these guys found something. And they were talking about it, and I said, okay.
This group of people?
This group of people,
gotcha.
yeah. I went over and I said, did you guys find the phone? And if you did, can I see it? Can I identify it? And they started calling me names. They got off of their tubes. They came at me. So I said, all I need. And they were calling me all kinds of names, insulting me for being in the water with a snorkel. And I said, all I want, guys, did you find the phone? And I saw they had found something.
It seems rather ridiculous that Nick would be called such specific things if he confronted them as kindly as he says he did. It's very clear he's leaving something out of his story. Keep in mind at this point, Nick has no idea the entire altercation was recorded, so he likely thinks these stories, being completely innocent, seem plausible.
And we were looking desperately to find this phone. And I know somebody found it, but I thought it was that group. They came to me and they grabbed my snorkel and they threw it in the water. Well, the water was so fast, it went under. So I went out after it, and they started, another group of mostly girls came over from the other side, yelling at me or calling me and something like that. And I went back. I actually, after this incident, I don't even know what happened.
Again, another flat-out lie. The phone recording clearly shows Nick was the initial aggressor when he started pushing the teens off their tubes.
I just know that they attacked me, and I was in self-defense. I went into self-defense mode, and then I went over to my group of people. That was it. And they asked me what happened, and I wouldn't tell them. I said, I can't tell you. Let me calm down.
Okay.
I was shocked, so nobody on that knew exactly what happened. The only thing they said was, look, somebody got in an argument over there, like, yep, let's just leave that alone, don't go there. And I said, did you guys find something? And I thought they did. And I know they did, because they were hiding something from me. And then I went over there and they grabbed my snorkel, they threw it down, they got off their tubes, they came after me, they pushed me, one of them hit me, and then there was a girl that came from here and hit me in the back of my head. And I was about right there.
You said right here?
When she hit me, yes.
And that's when the female hit you?
Yeah. I mean, I feared for my life. Tell you the truth, when they started hitting me and pointed a knife at me, and then another kid pointed a knife, I thought that was it for me. Luckily, I took it from one of the young kids, and I think that's when I swung back.
What did you do with it?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't know. Absolutely, I don't know.
Nikolai's defense becomes extremely hard to believe when he constantly lies about the incident. Again, the knife used was his. He did not take it from anyone, he pulled it from his own pocket and used it to stab 5 people. He threw it into the lake in the hopes he could cover the incident up completely. Proof of this is in his talks with police while being arrested, where he pretended he wasn't even near the scene of the crime.
I don't know if he got it back. I have absolutely no idea.
Did you hit him? Like, did the knife make contact with him?
That I don't remember.
Okay.
You were so close.
Sure.
And one had it in his hand, so I took his hand and I bent it and I poked him with his own hand. And then I took it from his hand and then I went and swung like this. So I don't know who I hit. I just know that I took the knife from one of the kids.
Okay.
The other one, I don't know what happened to. I didn't get hit.
Did you have a knife with
No,
you?
no, absolutely. No.
Okay. But you have one with you today, right?
The what?
A knife to cut. How did that?
I think it's in my car.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Did you drive or did Sandy drive?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know where it's at, to tell you the truth. It may be in one of the bags we had with us. It may have been in I don't know. Maybe I left it, put it back in the car. Because I went back with a bunch of, I had straps. I didn't want to pay for string. But they say string is cheap.
And what, they probably don't want you to have straps.
They told me, they said, yeah, if you have straps, there was a kid over there. If you have straps, no problem, but the string is free. So I said, okay, I'll take the string.
Okay.
You know, and then I took the straps back. So the straps can puncture the...
Yeah.
So I had a whole bag of straps that I took back to my car.
Okay, and so maybe the knife was the strap?
Probably.
Do you have any cuts or marks on you? Have you had a chance to like look at your torso or?
Somebody was telling me that I'm bleeding from my ear, from my left ear.
Who told you that?
Oh, I think it was Amy. They said, Nick, you're bleeding from your left ear. I went like this, I went in the water, I cleaned, but I don't see any blood. I don't know if you see any cuts, but I
don't.
Yeah, so I don't know why I was bleeding from my ear.
This is a smart tactic used by the detective. By getting Nick to confirm he had no injuries, the prosecution can use this as evidence to rule out self-defense. Nick claims Amy told him his ear was bleeding, but says himself that he didn't notice any blood. In addition, it takes him seconds to recall who told him his ear was bleeding, meaning he could have just made this scenario up altogether.
But Amy saw blood?
I think she says you're bleeding from your ear, Nick. And then I cleaned and I said, look, there is nothing. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was blood or if it was weeds she saw. I have no idea. We were like, she was on the other side and I was just...
Yeah, so she's over here, right?
She's over here, yeah, right here.
Oh, so she's closest, Amy's over here, closest to the shore?
Yeah.
Okay.
With their nest over right here. And I was over here somewhere in one of these.
Okay, and you got back in that tube then when it was time to go?
Yeah, I got back in my own tube, yes.
Okay.
Notice how Nick feels the need to provide a detailed description on this claim from Amy, but not for anything else.